Hello, friends. How is everybody doing? Ooh, I'm hearing myself twice. There we go. I fixed it. I don't know what I'm going to do tonight because I'm going to be all out of place. Because, again, no Crystal. She works in a little disease factory. I mean, school. Crystal works in a school. So she got sick again. Her and her son are both sick because children just like are little disease factories and they carry them around with them. So if anyone wants to just go at Crystal on the social medias, let her know that we miss her and that you want her to feel better and stuff. You should go ahead and do that. But so I don't have to sit here by myself all night. I have my lovely Luna Cam. Luna's always with us now. He's pretty much just here all day. Oh God, hello. Oh, String, what's up, String? Ooh, it's a Rapunzel. Hello. They are little disease factories. It's fair. And we have a Gnomon Garden. What's up, guys? But we also have another old fund friend who is now traditionally here for all of our first episodes. I think this is just going to carry out forever, I hope, as long as he continues wanting to just watch shows that he hasn't watched yet. I force him to cram shows now is what kind of happens.
Look, here comes an awesome guest.
Hi, what's up, man? It's the YouTube reactor extraordinaire, ReverseBLT. Oh
my god! Yeah, some may take issue with even calling me a reactor right now. Slowly as I'm getting things out, but
listen. If anyone takes issue with anything that you have to do, you just send them to me, and I'll take care of them.
Oh my god! I didn't realize that my computer. If you're wondering why I'm looking around like that, I was hearing this weird noise. I realized that like the fan of my computer is going insane right now.
So, a little overheating issue there. It's me.
I guess
it's me. It's me, isn't it? It's me and you. But it's both of us being on screen at the same time. It couldn't handle the awesomeness of that.
It's sensing your hotness, and there was Scanlan's hotness earlier as well. So yeah.
this first episode does gets a little spicy for him. He has a little.
I tell you. These two episodes do a fantastic job of setting up the vibe, if nothing else. Absolutely. Let me shift this to the other screen so it doesn't look like I'm looking off into the distance every time I look to see you.
Yeah, no, they I really feel like they just wanted to set the vibe of like the show being not a children's cartoon or something like that. Because
yeah. Opening scene did that. The opening scene very much was like, "Hi, if there are children watching."
Well, like I think 5 people die in the setup or something like that.
It was very, very quick. Which was funny because this is exactly. I was actually sitting there thinking to myself because I didn't really know anything about this going in. I mean, I'd heard of Critical Role, so I knew who they were, and like I knew this was like a fantasy setting kind of thing, but I didn't know really who the characters were and stuff. So when the first group shows up on screen, I'm like, okay, is this our group? And so is this our like intro shot to like look how awesome our heroes are, or are these going to be cannon fodder for humor's sake? I feel it's going to be one of the two because I had heard that it was a dark comedy in many respects. So
as Matt Mercer would say, these are not heroes. These are just regular people who get involved in situations because they're definitely
protagonists.
Not protagonists. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah, protagonists. Yeah, that's so we've watched. I mean, you and I have watched a ton of stuff together at this point now, but we've done a lot of rewatches here, and we've seen a lot of adaptations. We've seen video game adaptations, we've seen book adaptations, we've seen cartoon to live action adaptations, we've seen live action to cartoon adaptation. Like we've seen a lot of different adaptations. This is new though. Like I was thinking about this while I was watching it again today, like for the umpteenth time. I've just been putting it on in the background now. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's a good quote. And then not Bloody Lords either. That's great. There's Wheel of Time quotes for you, Rivers. Sorry. Extra bonus points to Gnomon Garden and Rapunzel for the Wheel of Time quotes. this is a
You're
weird.
about to confirm something that I was wondering about. So go ahead.
Okay. Well, this is an adaptation that's taken from a live play D&D game.
Okay, that's what I thought, because I
Yeah.
was saying that because again I didn't know exactly what I was getting into, but I knew who Critical Role was,
Yeah.
and so I was saying like, is this going to be, is this like an original story they came up with for this animation, or is this someone decided they should animate a campaign that they did for their D&D sessions or whatever. And I wasn't sure. Maybe both.
Yes, it's kind of both. So they took the story of their campaign and a lot has changed, obviously, because you can't do a one for one of anything, but
Right.
especially of like a live play role playing game. No one's rolling dice. They're not asking questions. They're not, describing the scenes. Like a lot of stuff has to convert to just the visual medium, like
Right.
that isn't, there. But a lot of the story, I read a few articles and I watched some of the behind the scenes videos in the last like week or so, and them talking about the writing process for this was just really interesting. Like they work. First of all, it's so different from a book or a movie in the sense of each person who plays a character on the show, which I come prepared. So let's just go over our characters real quick for everyone who hasn't met, or maybe for me, this was the first time I watched the show. I've seen the first 2 seasons and the first couple of episodes of season 3. And now that I mentioned that, let's keep chat to nothing past season 1 for now. Just for now. And maybe we'll talk about that later. But for today's purposes, let's keep it to season 1.
And I won't
for anyone
looking at the chat because I've only seen the first 2 episodes. That's all I had time for. This
That's
was my
fair.
birthday weekend. I turned.
Happy birthday!
I don't know if I should say my age at this point,
Oh,
but
who
my birthday
cares?
was Friday. I turned 47.
Congrats, man! That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
And yes, my mom came over, and we
Yay!
ended up like hanging out a lot and doing a bunch of things, and I ended up doing a bunch of stuff today too. So like and also I voted. If you guys haven't voted yet, if they
Yes.
allow early voting where you are, make sure you get out there and vote. I won't tell you who to vote for, but I will tell you who not to vote for. Do not vote for Trump.
Yeah, please, thank you. I also voted. I voted by mail, which is nice.
Nice.
I love being able to do that because I love being able to.
Nice,
I love
Aaron.
seeing all these voted things.
Yay, Glenn.
Like often they put in like the ballot measures and things like that, and it's some of those things are not like easy to decipher.
Definitely
so sometimes you got to look it up. You want to read it. Some of the I don't know a lot about the judges, so like I like to I get to sit down, write their names down, Google them, look up their public information, see how they rule on things. I love being able to do that from home. It's a
I did all that because they sent out like a sample ballot kind of thing, and also to let us know where we could early vote.
Yeah.
But I saw a bunch of people whose names I didn't recognize for different things, so I always end up having to research whoever's running for the county council and the school board.
We have someone running for head mosquito organizer or something like that. It's hilarious.
That's hilarious. You have a mosquito problem when someone creates a position specifically for wrangling the mosquito problem.
Yeah. I forgot what the title is. Maybe my wife remembers. Mosquito commissioner. That's what it was. Mosquito commissioner.
Wow. That sounds like someone who enlists the aid of mosquitoes. Though.
Yeah, it does. But being able to look that stuff up was nice. On our ballot this year in Florida, which is fantastic, is the legalization of marijuana and codifying the right to abortion in the state constitution, which I hope both pass.
Yes,
so I'm really looking forward to that.
Freedom.
But other than but back to Vox Machina now, because
sorry, I don't want to turn this into a political thing.
Yeah,
this isn't my channel where everything turns political.
Listen. We don't shy away from politics here. I'm very vocal about supporting Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, and not supporting fascism or bullying or anti-trans, anti-gay, anti-immigrant, anti-black, or anything like that on this channel. Like we're very vocal about that, but we get enough of that in the news right now, and we'll and I'll always promote it and call it out when I see it. But I'm really excited about this show. I wasn't before. I'll tell you. I'll be straight up. When I included it on the list because Vox Machina this season 3 was coming out, and I was like, yeah, I was like, it's probably a good thing to include it on there. And I mean, if it wins, it'll be pretty big in like the Google searches, and like it'll be good for that kind of stuff. I hadn't watched it yet though, so I had to like cram it all in, and I really liked it. I like we were just mentioning a minute ago how the story is based off of a live play D&D, where the sessions were like 6 hours long. I didn't know what to expect for the quality of the show. You know what I mean? But it was really good. So what I was talking about though was
go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go.
Well, I was just wondering because as you may remember, D&D is something that I've been curious about as a big old nerd, but I've never had the chance to play D&D. And so
I can put together a one shot we can do maybe.
Yeah, that might be fun because I'm definitely still curious about it. But I was just wondering, is 6 hours normal?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, like, every group is different, every table is different, but like for the different groups that I've played in, many different people that I've played with, I would say between 4 and 6 hours would be a normal session, I would say.
Okay.
Anything too short and you run the risk of, well, okay, let me correct that. 4 and 6 hours is the time that everyone is hanging out together. Are you playing for 4 to 6 hours? Maybe not, but I would say, yeah, that's 4 is considered short. I would say on average in the whole thing, but you got to start off with, oh, what'd you guys do this week? Bullshitting, catching up, reminding everyone where they were in the story, and then getting to play. In our house, when we play, we schedule that though. Like the first 2 hours we eat like a nice big lunch, and then we bullshit for a little while, and then we play. Like we schedule that into our thing. That's and we do play for 6 hours. I guess it's like a 6 hour thing usually. Like everyone meets up around 11:30 noon. We eat till about 2, and then we play till about 6. So that's 6 hours. But what I was saying before about the interesting thing about this being a adaptation from a live tabletop role playing is the characters themselves, because, and again, here we'll introduce everyone to the characters. We have Sam Riegel playing the gnome bard Scanland Shortholt, and I'll get rid of our banner here in a second so that you can see the entirety of the picture. We have Travis Willingham playing Grog Chandra, who's hilarious. We have Liam O'Brien playing Vax Ilden, who is a half-elf rogue paladin druid, apparently.
So they were mixing some classes together, because I do know a little bit about the classes.
There's 2 characters, specifically Vax and Vex, who are mixed, but Marisha Ray is Keylith. She's a half-elf druid. Then we have Ashley Johnson, who's Pike Trickfoot, a gnome cleric. Talson Jeff, who is playing Percival Frederickstein von Musel Klosowski DeRollo III. Sorry, I definitely butchered that.
Gotta love it.
Here's Vex. This is brother and
humans
sister.
Do exist in this world. Okay,
they do. There are humans. Vex and Vox are brother and sister. So Vex is also a ranger, but also a rogue. So they're the 2 multi-classes.
So there were a couple of voices that I recognized. And
Matt Mercer is also playing several characters, but he's particularly the bear Trinket. I just wanted to get that last one in real quick. Anyway.
No, sorry. But I recognized the voice of the last, because I haven't memorized their names yet. Obviously, it's only been 2 episodes. But
her,
I recognized Laura Bailey's voice, and of course that makes sense because she's in a lot of stuff. And I recognized the voice for the cleric or paladin or whatever she is, like the magic,
cleric, Ashley Johnson,
the light lady. But I don't know why I know her name. Like, where do I know her from?
Oh, Ashley
Johnson. Why do I recognize her voice?
She's in tons of stuff. So she was a child actor. She was actually in Annie, like not the old Annie, but like the one that came out in 1998 or something like that. She's been in a bunch of stuff.
The one where Annie was black?
No, well, she's white, so no. She was
she
Annie.
played it. I didn't know if she. I mean, I didn't know who she was. I just knew she was in it.
Yeah, no. She also did the voice of the main character for Last of Us, the video game. But then she also, and they made the character look like her too. And then she was the mother for that character in the HBO show.
That explains why the actress looked familiar, because I was definitely wondering about that too. She definitely looked familiar.
Yeah.
But I haven't played Last of Us yet, and it reminds me I got to get around to doing that.
Okay.
Because that would be a stream thing when I get around to playing.
Oh, cool. You gonna do some gaming too?
Yeah. It's funny because like I first started out as interesting.
Right, she was in Growing Pains. That's what I was going to say. That's where she started with Growing Pains.
That would probably be the biggest place where I would know her voice, because I definitely watched the hell out of some Growing Pains. I loved that show back in the day. But yeah, I started out on the internet as a Twitch streamer, and I just like ended up being like, I ended up having to work so much that I basically never went anywhere with it.
That's fair.
My whole shtick was that like I'm not a pro gamer by any stretch.
Yeah.
So you kind of you flip a coin with me when you come to because you're either going to be getting someone who seems like he could play with the pros, or someone who seems like he's literally never touched a controller or a keyboard and mouse in his life. There is no in between with me. I am either hyper competent or completely flailing about.
That's hilarious.
So that was always the shtick.
I also do some gaming over on the Dragonmount Twitch, but few and far between, because I also can't get myself on track with being consistent with it. Mostly we do the live streams and the pre-recorded stuff, but we got to maybe do some gaming or something like that. We'll figure it out.
Let me know about some of the stuff you're playing, and
we'll figure something out. It
seems like the kind of stuff that I think would I would actually be interested in.
If anyone in chat, if you think there's a fun game that Reverse and I could play together, let me know. So the cool thing that they did with these characters and the writing of the show was that they had the actors who created the characters, the voice actors who played these characters, were playing in a game with Matt Mercer privately, like at Matt Mercer's house. It was a game that they played.
So these are their characters.
These are their characters that they created. They created the backstories of them. So like when the writers were sitting down to write the show, they had not only Matt Mercer there, who created the entire world and the NPCs and the story and saw a lot of the items and the differences in some of the magic stuff from the normal D&D, which is not much, because he pretty much just used 5e for everything. They also got to talk to each individual person who created their characters to get the characters' look and the characters feel, the coloring of their armor and their skin in some cases, where Grog is like an aquamarine type color because he's a Goliath. So listening to the writers talk about that was really, really, really interesting.
Yeah, that sounds fun. So Matt Mercer was the DM?
The DM, yeah, he was the DM, the dungeon master.
Which I guess explains. So I'm guessing that all the voices he does are random bit characters or animals then.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So the Ranger's bear companion, he does several voices though. He does a lot of voices. So I thought this one is my favorite one, so I included that one with the with the character breakdown.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's a really neat bit of detail.
Yeah. But there's also a fun thing that they did. The designers, the animating designers. So, and I want chat to watch for this too. You too, Reverse, if you could pick it out. If you already know the answer to this, don't like call it out. Let people look for it. It's fun. So, in each episode of season 1, at least, I don't know if they did it for season 2. The animators secretly put a character that looks like Matt Mercer into every episode. Matt Mercer does not voice that character, and that character is usually getting screwed over in some way by Vox Machina, because that's what happens when you're a DM. The shtick is the party's always messing up the DM's plans, and like the DM has to try to compensate for that, and that's pretty much D&D in a nutshell. So in every single episode, including the first one, and I have them all saved, so I can pull it out at the end of the episode. There's a character that is getting screwed over in some way by the group. So that's going to be fun. I like that. So see if you can point them out during the episode. The other thing that I wanted to mention was I got some fun stuff in the mail. So Reverse, I don't think you know who the Goat Brother is, but he's pretty prolific in the chats of pretty much every single content creator for the most part. He lives over in Germany, so their times don't line up usually. But when we do the earlier stuff, he's usually on. And now I
may have actually seen him in some of my comments.
Probably. He's pretty prolific. He gets around. I'm going to put links for his stuff in chat, but he's also doing the Flickerverse, which is a new YouTube show that a couple of the content creators and a few of the more prolific people in chat are doing. So I'm putting links to that in the thing. But he sent me 2 Wheel of Time books. Oh, this way. He sent me 2 German Wheel of Time books.
German and
yeah, that have interesting cover art. So this is the cover. This one is this is the Dragon Reborn. It's actually called the Dragon Reborn, which is good. So that's and this cover art is actually the cover art from the American book as well. It's still very nice that he sent
that like the World of Robert Jordan. Is that what that says at the top?
The World of the Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. I'm still very happy that he sent it to me. Oh no, wait, this is not the 4th book. Oh shit, I didn't even look. This is the big white book. So if people don't know, so this is the 3rd book cover art, the Dragon Reborn. But this is inside is actually the big white book of bad art, people call it, but it's just like it's a lore book. So that's interesting. That's really cool, actually. I figured it was the 4th book. I just opened the box. Like I still have the box right here. And I thought it was the 4th book, but it's not. So that's really cool. Then this, in Germany, they broke the books up into multiple books. So it's not 14 books. It's like 27 books. So like each book is broken into multiple parts. But this cover art for this book. So for those who can't see, let me get it a little closer. So
they Lord of the Ringed it.
Yeah. This one is called The Horn of Valir, which is not the title of any of the books, but I have a better version. I have a better picture so I can show you what the cover art looks like.
Like random naked lady.
Yeah, I was confused a little bit. I was like, what is it?
It looks like someone reimagined was it Arwen versus the Witch King, except she's naked?
Yeah, I guess.
Or is it Arwen? No, Eowyn, right?
Yeah. I see that. But yeah, so I'm not sure what's going on here. I don't know who the dude on the horse is with the weird helmet. I guess maybe it could
No
be
man may kill me. But I am no man, as you can clearly see.
Exactly. Clearly you can see it. Clearly. But yeah, so some of these cover arts are fucking odd.
It's like someone was just like well, that's true, Aaron. We can imagine it as like right in the middle of a that makes sense because they seem like German metal band.
That's funny.
Album covers.
That is kind of what it looks like. That is kind of what it looks like.
Oh my god.
So yeah. So anyway, thank you to Goat Brother for sending me that, and it's even this one's even cooler now that I know it's the big white book. I gotta look through it again later. Can contrast and compare. I don't speak German, but I gotta look between this one and the American one. That's cool.
Yeah, I've pretty much forgotten all the German I ever knew, but weirdly enough, when I see it written out, I get enough of a vague impression of what it says that I can usually piece it together.
Okay.
Some words make no sense though, like Zeitung. I'm like every time I see I know it means newspaper just because I know that, but like,
well, my favorite thing about German is that they have a lot of words that mean entire sentences, but it's just one word. My favorite one, I don't remember what it was. I'm gonna look it up. I have to look it up. What is it?
I really like what is it? For
hospital? I'm gonna say it wrong, but it's back in Pfeifengeist. I'll put it in chat. It's my favorite German word. Back in Pfeifengeist. It means a face that is begging to be slapped.
Oh, Bakken FIFA.
Yeah. It's hilarious. It's one of my favorite words. Anyway, the other boxes that I got other boxes in the mail that I think some of the Wheel of Time folks may be excited about. The Robert Jordan auction that was a couple of weeks ago ended, and I got my advanced arc uncorrected proof of the Great Hunt, along with some comic books that may find their way into some future giveaways or some such. We'll see. You'll have to
that's cool.
You just have to watch the streams and see if and when I decide to give those away. But speaking of giving things away, Rapunzel's in chat. Rapunzel got her package.
Your golden hair.
Yes, she got lucky, and she got lucky on multiple fronts. One, when we did a giveaway previously, one of the people never contacted me back when I was like trying to get his shipping information. So I told him, I was like, listen, if you don't contact me before this coming Monday, I'm going to give you your thing away again. And I did.
The camera just randomly zoomed in, just so you know. I don't know if you meant to do that.
It does it all the time. The AI tracking, I turn it off, and then it turns itself back on. And then she won. So she got the... I love wrapping things. I don't know why. I just really enjoy it. You're lucky I only wrapped it once. Like for Christmas, when I send Christmas presents to like some of my family and friends, I usually end up wrapping it like 7
you a double
times.
wrapper?
Oh, double?
Wow.
Forget it.
And people thought I was obsessive for double wrapping.
I like the inside of the thing, like the very last one, to be that like little bit plasticky of paper that's really hard to rip. And then I wrap it like 5 or 6 times on the outside. It's true.
So what you're saying is if I ever get a present from you, I'm going to need to use my X-Acto.
Yes. Just got to be careful you don't scratch the thing inside. There were 3 layers. I wanted to make sure that I did a wax seal on the outside. I wanted to make sure that lived. Cool. But yeah, so anyway, we're gonna do our normal thing that we usually do with Teleparty. Let me get the link for everybody. I'll put the link in our chat for Reverse if you want to follow there, and I'll put it in the chats for everyone else to watch. I'll give everyone a few minutes to get set up before we go into the show. I have to get my my timer up as well so everyone can follow along if you don't want to join the watch party. Where's the there? Okay. And is it sized correctly? Apparently not, because it's not on the screen at all. Okay, so I will add the timer back to the screen in 1 second. It's going to pop up as my entire Google Chrome window in a sec, so just bear with me. There it is. And then I will make it smaller. Bloop. And bloop. It doesn't like to save week to week. Like every week I have to remake the thing. And it's
your timer thingy?
Yeah. Well, the box for like to have it on the screen with me so that people could follow along. So I will align the timers once I press play on the show. If you don't want to watch along with us in the watch party, I'll have the timer up and you can align the times yourself.
For me, it's still joining.
The watch party?
Yeah, it says there's only 1 user currently in there. Is that accurate on your end?
Yes. Well, I mean, like sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. The user count is almost never right. Like sometimes it says 0 for the whole time that we're here, and I know there's people watching.
Now I see 2 users in there,
and it should be paused and just say Amazon Original in the middle of the screen. You can. No one else should be able to press play. I'll be the only one to press play.
For me, of course, it's playing a McDonald's commercial.
Oh yeah, well if you have commercials playing, if you're watching the watch party, it'll automatically catch up. If you're following along, you'll have to catch up yourself.
I am quite annoyed at the commercials these days.
Well, on the upside, Amazon isn't currently in a class action lawsuit because of those commercials. Because when you signed up for Amazon Prime, it specifically said that they were going to be commercial-free viewing on Amazon Prime Video, and then when they changed it,
Yep.
Oh, thanks for posting that. Lesbian Nerdy's cover art tier list was really, really funny. And if anyone wants copies of those of the cover arts, I do have a file on my computer with all of them somewhere. But
he is the only VTuber I follow.
Lesbian Nerdy?
Her and Nightmind. Those are the only 2 VTubers I think I follow. because the whole VTube thing in general freaks me out.
Okay. Wait, what's VTube?
That's when it's not really them, but like an avatar that's like animated to follow along with them and stuff. And in general, that freaks me out really badly. It almost kind of triggers something similar to the uncanny valley for me. So I just really don't like to watch it typically. And I can't stand listening to AI voiced stuff for the same reason.
I don't like that either.
Yeah, it's like chewing tinfoil.
I
like them though.
Fuck with my brain. No, yeah, Lesbian Nerdy is great. I don't know the other person that you mentioned, but Lesbian Nerdy is great. We've had her on the show a couple of times. She lives in Korea, so the time difference is a little off for us, but whenever we can get her on.
Goryeo.
Oh, the French one is pretty great. There's the French one on the, and I actually have them sitting right here. The Cards Against Time pack, they, Koala Sadai used the French cover art for one of the cards because it's what she labeled it as the original butt rock. Because everyone labeled Daniel Henney's butt in episode 1 as butt rock, but then that book came out a long time ago, and it's a person like laying on top of like an Aes Sedai seal, and they're naked. So you
please tell me that someone like caught the pun and used it for that butt rock.
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely. I love our punny squads.
Yes. Oh, all the puns. I love puns. They're painfully amazing. All right. I think that was enough stalling for everyone to join watch parties and set up their timers. All right. I'm going to put the link.
We have to go down a full-blown tangent to give them more time. I can cook up tangent.
No. I have so many tangents, though. What else do I have sitting around on my desk that we can tangent?
My brain literally is like nothing but tangents at this point.
I will say this, and I still haven't heard back from them. I am a little upset at this auction house. They shipped the comic books really crappily. Like, so I stuck it in some acid-free plastic, but like here's one of the graphic novels that came in. Oh, this is one of the good ones. One of the bad ones are over on the other side. They put no packing in the box whatsoever. So like it was a thin cardboard box with, and this graphic novel is pretty thick. Like it's not a thin comic book. Like here's the graphic novel just by comparison. And here is a comic book side by side. So you can see how thick this is. So like that's a comic book and that's the graphic novel. Like it's pretty thick. And there was like
acid-free backing board on it.
Yeah, oh yeah. I did that too. They weren't in any of those. That's another thing. But
obnoxious.
They didn't even think about it like that. That's funny. The whatchamacallit. So it was 30 of those thick graphic novels and a stack of those comic books just in the box loose. No packing around it whatsoever. The box was damaged because it was a thin cardboard box with loose books flopping around in it. Yeah, I was very angry.
Did the comics survive?
Some of them got damaged on the edges, like they got crinkled and stuff. And I emailed them, and they haven't emailed me back. I'm going to call them tomorrow.
Yeah, you can't just have loose comics.
No,
graphic novels. I mean, that's annoying enough, but they'll probably survive. But loose comics sliding around in a box are going to get all jacked up.
Yeah. And especially with heavier books, like because they're so thin.
Yeah, they'll get crunched by them. Yeah,
but you would think an auction house, like a place that is auctioning off items, would know how to pack things better. But yeah, so it's Embassy Auctions International. That's their thing. I don't care to give them a bad review because I already gave them a bad review on Google, and I will give them a bad review to their face or at least over the phone when I call them tomorrow. But
what kind of auction house ships something in a way that will almost guarantee that it will arrive in a worse condition than it was bid on?
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
I was probably sue them.
I'm not that concerned.
Honestly, you probably could because you lost value in that.
They did 100%. I would be happy if they refunded the shipping, but we'll see. I'm gonna call them tomorrow, and if they, depending on the attitude they give me or not, we may have a whole full-fledged rivalry going with them, and we'll see what happens. All right, but I would, speaking of rivalries, there's a pretty big one that starts out when we start this episode. So I'm gonna press play on the timer and on the show so that we can align the show. So if everyone is ready, whoever isn't, get ready to press play. In 3, 2, 1, play. All right. So
Holy
you should
shit,
see
it's working.
you should see playing now if you're watching in watch party. And the timer is also going perfectly, so you should be able to follow along.
You just lagged out super hard.
I did?
Yeah.
Oh, is it good now?
You're good now. It's very strange. For like a couple seconds, it was like every couple of syllables was muted.
Oh, that's
you were
weird.
saying.
That sucks. All right. Well, it might have been just because I was pressing play on the episode, like, and it had to like buffer it or something. So here we go. Yeah, there's like 5 character deaths right in the beginning of this episode, which is pretty funny.
I was proud of myself for being able to figure out what classes they mostly were.
Okay, so which classes do you think are which?
So the guy that died was the barbarian, right? And the guy that just died is the wizard or mage class. That was maybe a paladin.
Okay. Oh,
and I have to say, I didn't catch it because obviously there were some things I didn't know yet at this point, but the show is doing a really good job of linking certain things with their transitions. And that one was a really good one.
Oh, yeah, okay, I see what you're saying.
Oh, wait, I don't have to worry about spoilers, do I?
No, not for season 1, so let me get that back up again.
Which I haven't even watched past. So, obviously we weren't supposed to know yet that Krieg was the dragon. But,
correct.
like, right after they cut away from these guys getting wiped, they cut to Krieg slamming his hand down on the map and knocking over the symbols for the party. And that's damn good writing right there.
That's damn good writing.
Someone wrote that transition into the script. You know what I mean?
Yep, absolutely. Speaking of who he is, as in he's the dragon. Do you know who else General Krieg is? David Tennant.
Another person who I was sitting there trying to figure out why I recognized their voice. Okay. Yeah.
David Tennant
doing like a riff on his natural Scottish accent then.
Yeah. The date listening to them get excited on how they when they shot for the moon to get actors to be on the show with them, because obviously Matt couldn't voice everybody. That wouldn't be fun.
Yeah.
He is voicing this guy though that's in the bar giving them shit. That is him. Is really funny
because of your little hint about how Vox Machina kind of screws over whoever he's supposed to be in the episode, because he does get pretty royally screwed over by Vox Machina.
He does. but the character but Matt Mercer is voicing him in this. So the character
so it's not the one that looks like him. Okay.
Yeah, it's not the one that looks like him. There's a character that looks like him in every episode that gets screwed over in some way.
Gotcha.
So we have to keep an eye out for that. We'll see if anyone can spot it. If by the end of the episode, if no one has spotted it yet, I'll show it.
Yeah, this was funny. How he like gay baited him basically.
Oh yeah. I love how everyone's sexuality in this is just ambiguous too. Everyone's basically
it's just kind of fluid.
Yeah, everyone's pan essentially, and I love it.
So another great writing thing I noticed was how they used this scene. Not just to show, Vox Machina is generally sort of a bunch of fuck ups, but also to show that they actually really work well together. They don't have to talk or figure out how to be a team. They literally just play off each other very well.
Yeah, they did a great job kind of showing that they're already a accomplished group in some way. I know everyone kind of gives them shit, and they're like, they joke about them, and we find out later that they only picked them because they thought they were going to fail. But at the very least, they've been doing jobs together for a while. They also do a great job. So here's something that you wouldn't pick up on, but it's not a big deal because it's not like integral to the show or anything. They do a good job with like sneaking in little D&D kind of references. So like obviously the party getting drunk in a bar and starting a fight, that's easily a D&D reference. That's just like obvious, like That's something that happens almost every session if you're in a town where there's a tavern. But they do it several times throughout the show. There's people using magic in interesting situations where you normally wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here we go. This is where they were like, "This isn't a children's show." Immediately,
you would think that the person getting like crushed by a giant boulder in the first 5 seconds would have done that. But yeah, this is the West where we worry way more about a rogue breast than we do about massive carnage.
Oh yeah, you're only allowed. You're only if you show by the MPAA's Motion Picture Association of America's guidelines. If there's a woman depicted enjoying sexual content in a movie, instant rated R. If it's a zombie movie with heads getting chopped off, could be PG-13 as long as they don't say fuck more than 3 times.
Yep. It's absolutely crazy. Because you got to remember, the MPAA always has at least 2 representatives of quote unquote faith organizations on their board.
Yeah. 2 different Christian representations.
Yeah, it's usually, I think it's almost always a Catholic and a Protestant of some kind.
Probably, yeah. There's a really
That's
good
diversity.
Yeah, there's a really good expose documentary on Netflix about the MPAA. It's really
they
good.
call it "Think of the Children." That'd be the perfect title for it.
I don't remember what it's called. It's old. It's been out for a while. Kevin Smith is in it. He's not like in it, but like he speaks in it because he had a lot of run-ins.
I've seen that one. That actually sounds familiar now, because I think I did see a documentary on the MPAA that had Kevin Smith speaking a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, let's play a fun game. Let's see if you can figure out ReverseBLT's proclivities. Which of these characters do you think it turns me on the most?
Oh, okay. Let's do a poll. I'll do a poll for you. Which of these characters turn on reverse?
Which member of Vox Machina turns ReverseBLT on the most? See how well you've picked up on what I like. And of course, it's a fun one too, because obviously everyone in this group is a different kind of attractive.
That's true.
Right? Every single person in this group is conventionally attractive, basically, in one way or another.
This the group of people that or the voice actors that are doing this, for me at the very least, are similar to the cast of the 1990s Mummy movie. It's like everyone's hot.
I know exactly what you mean.
Oh, here we go.
A different kind of hot.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's this guy.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah.
Yes, you are correct. That is the Matt Mercer stand-in for this episode. If like you can see it too if you look at the face. Like, so let me get my picture of Matt as the bear. Where is it?
And it's a pretty minor getting screwed over too. He got peed on. Didn't get his arm chopped off.
But you can see his face.
Anything else?
Yes, that was the Mercer in this episode.
Moments like this always get me in stories that are about magical people in a magical world. Why are they ever going anywhere dirty? Can magic not make you clean and smell nice?
Some can. So one of the, like in D&D, there is an actual can I not add more than 4 options for a poll?
I don't know how the polls work in this. Oh, and the sovereign is what's his face, right? The guy that plays Goliath.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So in chat, then, you guys shout out names of who you think Reverse BLT finds the hottest or likes the most. Finds the most hot. Is sexually attracted to the most?
We're going because it's only been 2 episodes, so we're only going by physical appearance.
Physical appearance.
Because ultimately speaking, it will be personality that wins the day. That always is what wins the day for me. I am very much a demi, but like for right now, all I really have to go on is how they look.
Yeah, I only can post 4 options in the YouTube poll now for whatever reason. That's frustrating.
Yeah, there's so many little clues once you know that Krieg is the villain.
Oh yeah.
He's so pleased that these guys showed up, and you can see it on him.
Yeah, and they do a great job introducing the show, the characters, the background, the story, the world to people in this first episode. Like, as someone who was watching this for the first time, like less than like 2 weeks ago, I still was I easily was absorbed into it. I got it. Like, I understood things. There was a couple of things I was a little confused on, particularly the relationships between all the characters. But I got it pretty quick. Obviously, I knew they were brother and sister because they say it pretty often. But
I did think it was kind of funny that they seemed to not know which one of them was named which, though, even though they are the people.
I think they fuck around with that a little bit. I think they purposely do that to confuse people. But this little song was great. Like, this was a great way to like show everyone what's going on, especially having him throw up at the end there. Hilarious.
I loved how he did jazz hands at the end of the act.
Wrong people.
That is a good point. No, that is a good
wrong
point.
People who are wrong.
Like Red Hat?
Yeah, that's who doesn't like them.
Yeah,
okay.
Krieg is super pleased that they showed up. Look at him. It's like the whole time he's like a cat with a saucer of cream.
Oh yeah. The so some of the you may have recognized some of the other actors who are in these scenes too. So we have one who I missed because we were talking about other stuff. I was trying to make the poll. The tavern keep from the bar that they fucked up is Mason Alexander Park. So Mason does a lot of voice acting. You would recognize them probably from voice acting first, but they have been in a ton of stuff. So just go and look up Mason on IMDb, and you'll recognize what they're from.
I was curious as to what they were going for with the barkeep, like whether they were trying to say that there were trans people in this world who were just completely accepted, or whether they were trying to say that the character was just full on androgynous, where they just had characteristics from both generally accepted gender types. You know what I mean?
Well, they're non-binary. Well, the person who plays them is non-binary. So I think that's why they chose that. Okay. But Mason was Desiree in the Sandman.
Desire. Yeah, I thought I recognized them.
And this, why did I say
and may I just say, by the way, I know it's not about Vox Machina, but holy shit that they kill it as Desire. They were perfect.
I think I actually have a picture floating around of them as Desire. I do.
I thought it would be hilarious if this character had been portrayed by Emilia Clarke, just because of how hard they tried to make her look like
she does look like Emilia Clarke. But in fact, it's Indira Varma. Yeah.
But another Game of Thrones alum, though.
Yep. But also, so she's from Game of Thrones, but also one of my other favorite shows with one of my other favorite amazingly good-looking actors, Idris Elba from Luther.
So if anyone doesn't seen a single episode of Luther.
I love Luther. It's such a good show.
I've heard also, it's very good.
How I Named My Cat, and there she is in Game of Thrones. And then the King, if anyone watches The Walking Dead, Kari Payton.
Oh, so it's not Goliath.
No, Kari Payton.
This person could definitely play Goliath after he's gone.
Allura's right-hand fighter barbarian friend, Lady Kima. Stephanie Beatriz, who is what's her name? Mirabelle Madrigal from Encanto, but also Rosa from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay, I didn't recognize her. I was I was sitting there thinking she looked vaguely familiar, but I couldn't place it. And so, okay, so she's Rosa.
Yeah, Rosa from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I'm on commercials right now, so I have no idea where you guys are.
Sorry.
Oh my God, 5? They're making me sit through 5 commercials.
5? That's crazy.
Yes. Jesus. I'm on number 3 of 5 right now.
Oh, that's frustrating. Well,
this is just to get me to pay for the no ad version. That's all.
It really is. It really is. Ashley Johnson Pike is blessing a family's house very poorly because she's having problems.
Yeah, I'm one of the things I really liked also in these first 2 episodes, because what really always everyone who watches my channel, they know this after a little while. The biggest thing that always gets me into a show is a mystery. You give me nice little questions to chew
Okay.
on, and that's
Yeah.
what keeps me coming back. And they did a really good job of giving us little peeks into their histories to make us
Yeah.
wonder, how did they get here? Like, what is their deal? You know? Because, like, so she's like a priest, right? But clearly not a good
Cleric.
priest. And, like, so what's the story there? You know,
Yeah.
like, you have,
And
like,
yeah, why is it happening? And then you have the brother and sister and like what's going on with them. But obviously this entire first season is focused on, well, you may not have seen it yet, but the entire first season is focused on Percy, which is cool. Like, it's cool
which
that
one is Percy?
Percy is the human, the only human in the group.
Oh, with the white spiky sticky uppy hair.
Yeah, and the gun.
And the gun, yeah. So I'm assuming humans will be the ones who use most of the what we would recognize as technology.
Actually, it would be like if so. They're playing in a world called Alexandria, which is Matt Mercer's homebrew world.
Okay.
But it does follow along the similar lines of the D&D lore, in that gnomes are the tinkerers and technologists usually, and dwarves as well too, for somewhat, because they work with metal a lot. Yay! It's a goat.
No, get away! Fangs! It's got huge fangs!
It's hilarious. I fucking love them.
Get the holy hand grenade!
And there it is, though. The ranger was able to feel the beast.
Yeah, that was when I stopped them and was like, wait, so are they also magic? Because I was like, so it's not just the mage and the cleric who are magical.
Yeah.
I liked how they gave us the little like natural reveals on those things rather than having exposition dumps to do it.
Oh yeah. Bambi versus Godzilla. That's cool. It's not Bambi, it's Bambi. This is how Bambi's dad died. He was killed by a dragon. A blue dragon.
That's right. This is the prehistory.
Yeah.
So I thought she was going to get a rage-fueled power-up because the dragon destroyed a bunch of the forest.
A bunch of the trees. Oh, yeah, the dragon's a natural being too. The thing that they that I like that they do in this with the other classes like Bard and Ranger are making them look less like in tabletop D&D. People give Bards and Rangers a lot of crap because they're not like, people don't view them as like the min-max great DPS damaging or, you know, mechanically good quote unquote classes. I think any class can fill any role, to be honest with you, but that's just my opinion. But I like how they give them agency in this and like give them little fun things to do in their own little niches. I think they did a good job. Matt Mercer did a great job in the game, and Amazon's doing a great job in the writing and the direction and animation of the show too.
This was a funny moment because like I was sitting here like, man, she's useless, and then she did this. I was like, oh, perhaps I have been too unkind to you. But I like this bit. She's like, did I make it worse? Bigger.
That's true. He should have done something funny like that. He should have said, do you think I can like play the love song or whatever? That would have been really funny. Oh shit, I forgot what I was gonna say now. Oh, if you've recognized the animation style in any way, the guy who's the lead animator on this, I forgot his name, Brandon something, or is he the executive producer? I'll remember in a couple of minutes. He was the lead it's Phil something. He's the lead animator on pretty much all of the DC stuff of the last like 15 years. So if you've like watched, you know, any of the Justice League or anything animated DC, he did it. Or was in charge. He was like the lead animator or whatever of it.
So what was chat's verdict?
Oh,
that they
I
decide?
only saw a couple come through. So we'll go off the 3 that came through. So we have Scanlan. We had 2 votes for Scanlan and 1 vote for Keyleth, because I think it was after the redhead quote. Yeah, it was after the redhead quote.
Incorrect.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so this will ruin future versions of this.
Oh
game,
wait, hold on. Let me guess.
Oh, but you have an advantage now because now you know that those 2 guesses are
That's
wrong.
true. That's true. I do have an advantage, but that's okay. No, we couldn't do a poll because I couldn't make more than 4 choices, and there's more than 4 characters.
Gnome, it was the question was which of the members of Vox Machina do you think is currently, at least physically, turning on ReverseBLT?
I'm gonna say Percy.
Okay, so I don't know everybody's names yet, remember, but
Yeah,
or at least I haven't memorized everyone's names. But like
it's
I said, this is going to give people an advantage in future polls because they will be able to automatically basically discount 50% of the population. Unfortunately, I have the weakness that I am heterosexual.
Okay.
I unfortunately have never been capable of getting turned on by dudes. So there are definitely some guys where I'd be like, I think probably that's what people find attractive in dudes, but that's about as good as I get.
Oh, that's true.
And
We did
obviously
eliminate
I can
2.
get the bromance thing, you know what I mean? Where I'm like, oh, I just really think that's a cool dude, and
Yeah.
like I really like them. But in terms of the person who is just doing it for me, it's our really shitty priestess girl.
Oh, Pike.
Yes.
Okay.
So now
Ashley
you have
Johnson is
insight into. But yes, I am very much a fan of gingers.
great. So you like short blondes?
But I have a thing for tiny and cute.
Okay.
I have a big thing for tiny and cute. So when in doubt, if you see a group of characters and one of them is tiny and adorable, that's probably, at least just purely physically, the one that I'm going to be drawn to.
Fair
But
enough.
as I said, I am Demi. So that could change as we get to know more about their characters and everything else, who I ultimately am like crushing on in this cartoon.
And we actually
we'll
get to know Pike a lot more throughout the series, throughout this season too, because she does need to explore her issue with her magic. So
yeah, because
you will get
they
to see
seem
that.
to hint that she could be a lot more powerful than she is, but like something is holding her back. And I'm guessing some sort of mental blockage.
Okay,
It seems like
guess.
it seems like a crisis of faith, honestly. Like it seems because I was noticing that she does not really seem to believe much in the, which is funny to me because it's like, so I'm an atheist, but the reason I'm an atheist is because there's no evidence for things, right?
Yeah.
And if I lived in a world where I wielded magic that literally came from gods,
Yeah.
I couldn't really be an atheist anymore. Now I
Well,
might think those gods were bastards, and that would probably be the position I would take at that point. But I
a
wouldn't
lot of
be
the
an
D&D
atheist,
guards are pretty horrible. Even the good ones aren't the greatest. So, this is a great scene too. This is actually a really good scene.
The moment that like pushes them towards heroism.
Yeah. I mean, like, we've seen them drinking and throwing up and joking and all kinds of stuff, but but this scene for the whole cast is fantastic.
Like
but especially Pike.
There are heroes within these people. Hiding. Deeper down in some of them than others. Like I think Scanlan is the furthest away from like being in touch with his heroic side.
Yeah. Oh God. It was good. That was good. And the music is also really good. Not just Scanlan's music, but just the instrumentals that are on the background is pretty good. I guess we're gonna kill one. I mean, it's great that all his friends just happen to be voice actors and would do his D&D with him.
Yeah, you definitely have to like realize who you get in your friends list.
Yeah. The call to action is great.
What did he do aside from that tabletop thing though? Because like, was he a writer
Mercer?
or something? Because I recognize his name outside of Critical Role, so he must have
Huge,
some role in
huge
the
voice
industry.
actor. Huge
Oh,
voice
okay.
actor. Yeah, like he's been in hundreds of things. Like he's done hundreds of. I think it's fair to say he's done hundreds of things, but he's also done hundreds of voices in those things. I'm trying to think of things like TV shows that you would have seen him in.
Well, while you think of that, I'm gonna give my one negative critique that I
Oh,
had.
real quick, I'm going to just let this play right into the next episode. So if anyone wants to like line up like the things, you can get ready. I'm just going to let it play into the next episode, and I'll restart the timer and align it back up once the new episode starts. Just wanted to get that out of the way. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's fine. That was important. So the one negative I had coming out of episode 1 is that the drama side of the writing is a little weak.
Okay.
The comedic writing is just about as good as it gets especially for a first episode. I don't think any of the jokes failed to hit. They all were witty on more than one level. So yeah, the comedy is just spot on right now. But the dramatic writing, it hasn't found its footing yet. But there's potential. There's clear potential in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't consider it bad. I just wanted to say that. So that was my one niggle coming out of episode 1.
There is a lot more darker tones in the later episodes, and their dramatic acting and the writing for the most part does, like, you'll see it more. I don't know if it'll improve in your eyes, but you will see a lot more of it.
I imagine it will, because that's one of those things where it's just the more you work at it, the better it just gets.
I believe a lot of them got famous on a Felicia Day and what's his name? Fucking Star Trek. The kid.
Oh, Will Wheaton?
Will Wheaton. Wow. His name just completely left my mind. A lot of them like got famous on that, but I don't believe like they started on that. But like Mercer has been in literally every cartoon and video game for like the last few years, but I'm just trying to go back to like where he started. He's by the way, he's been in 460 things.
Wow.
Oh, he was in Akira. That was his first voice acting, Akira.
Wow. I'm gonna have to go back and see who he voiced.
Sailor Moon, Mobile Suit Gundam, Devil Summoner, Cowboy Bebop, Trigun, Street Fighter Alpha.
Well, I've literally seen his name hundreds of times and just sort of registered it in the back of my mind, probably.
Yeah, he was.
This was another
50
by the way,
characters
this was another
in World
scene
of
that
Warcraft.
made me suspicious of Krieg. But I still didn't think he was the dragon yet. At this point, I said to myself, okay, the dragon is clearly someone who it can transform into a human. I was still operating under the assumption that it was going to be the guy who they were telegraphing it to be. But I thought at this point that Krieg was in league with him.
Okay.
Especially when it dawned on me that his name was literally War. I was like, wait a minute, Krieg?
Oh, first off, what's up, Danny? That's I like seeing new names in chat, but also that's good to know. I mean, I do know that they pull a lot of stuff from before the campaign, and like specifically the character of Krieg himself wasn't in the campaign at all. Like that's from when they were still playing in privately, like in Matt's home before they started streaming their gameplay. That character was there. He wasn't in the live play that they did. But that's good to know that the first few episodes focus more on that.
I really dig how this opening gives us little glimpses into their backstories.
Oh yeah. They do a great. I gotta tell you, man, they really did a good job. Like I said it before. I'll say it again. Like I was not expecting to like this show as much as I'm enjoying it. Not
Is the
because
golden
it's animated
thread
or
supposed
anything.
to be the Everlight?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like I'm not full up on Mercer's Alexandria. Like I don't know everything about it, but I like in D&D there are hundreds of gods, but I don't know if that's similar to this. Like maybe the Everlight is like, there's only a few gods or a few religions. In freaking D&D there's hundreds, literally hundreds.
Maybe the Everlight's something like not a thing that's specific to any one god. Maybe it's like sort of supposed to be sort of like the energy that makes everything work,
I can see
even the
that.
gods.
Yeah. I can kind of hear the David Tennant in his voice, but he does a really good job masking it. Oh, I forgot to pull up him, and I have him in my thing too. Tony Hale is Sir Fince.
Another person whose name I recognize, and I think I've actually seen him in acting things. Though I'm pretty sure I've seen Tony Hale act.
Yeah, you have. Tony, well, he's done a lot of voice acting too, but he was in Arrested Development, Veep.
He was Toby?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
You know what's funny?
He was Buster. Buster.
Yeah, that's the one. I was the younger brother, right?
Yeah.
The one who's always fucking up in different ways and wanted to join the military or whatever.
Correct.
I don't even know why I know any of that because I've literally never watched a single episode of Arrested Development.
That's funny. I've only seen a handful, but this guy's also done voice acting. He's like 200 deep in voice acting and also physical acting too. Like most people, he did an episode of Law and Order.
Dun, dun. Was he a cadaver?
Probably.
You always get the guest star parts are usually the guy that or the person who committed the crime.
Oh yeah, no, I know that the Everlight appears in Pathfinder. It's more my question is like in D&D in Alexandria, are there hundreds of gods or is it just like, the Everlight and a couple of more?
What I'd like
there
to
is
know
no
is
Everlight in D&D.
I would like to know how many of their gods are confirmed. You know what I mean? Like how many what's the distinction between people who are just like, oh, we just believe in this stuff, and are like, no, these are actual factual things.
All right, if there's 15, that's way less than standard D&D.
And does everyone in the world believe in the same gods, or are there a bunch of different religions, or what?
In D&D, that's not the case. Like there's like if you go into any of the major cities, like Baldur's Gate, for instance, like the video game that just came out, you'll find temples to hundreds of gods. There are famous ones, and there are they have their own pantheons and everything. And for the most part, I don't think there's any that are just faith-based alone. I'm pretty sure all of them are evidence-based off of like they exist.
Yeah, because that's a lot of times that's a failing I find in fantasy and sci-fi world building is that cultures are too unified, like too homogenous.
Yeah,
because I don't think there will ever come a point where any civilization will have a belief in only one religion and only one type of way of doing things culturally and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So, for your information, Reverse, as someone who doesn't play D&D a lot or you've never played D&D.
Yeah, I've never played.
Splitting the party is usually never a good idea.
Well, I figured as much just because I'm a horror movie fan.
Yeah, there you go.
You don't want everyone split up.
That's usually like a strong joke within every D&D campaign is don't split the party.
I thought it was hilarious how this guy's entire like the minute you walk into his shop, it starts basically going into a sales pitch.
Yeah, I love him though. This character is fantastic.
And I figured this book was illustrated based on her reaction just now.
Gilmore is a hilarious character. Like I went back and watched some of Matt Mercer voicing him because some of the cast were talking about how it was weird for them at first having someone else voice Gilmore and not Matt, because he's such like an iconic character in their game. But the guy who ended up doing it is Sunil Malhotra.
Oh, I know him.
Yep. I mean, like, he's like, everyone that they got for these parts are like,
pretty
big names. Yeah, pretty big names. And like they, I love how they all were like giddy over the people they got, like so excited over the people they got. Yeah. He does the voice of Kung Lao, June in Halo. I'm trying to think of other things that are like really famous.
Also, just real quick, I love how they keep sort of playing with how short she is. Like, like like him not noticing her or blowing the dust off, and of course it's at her head level, so it goes right in her face and stuff like
that. And that's like another kind of funny like thing that usually gets rolled into most D&D things. Again, another character is sexually androgynous. We have no idea where he goes.
Yeah, he definitely seems pain.
We're not hating on them. We're just enjoying the amount of comedy and mirth that gnomes bring to the table.
Also, I already said that one of the gnome characters is the one I'm currently crushing on, so I can't be hating on them.
Sure.
And also,
he did say that.
Like, let's be honest here. These are probably the sexiest gnomes that have been in like any property, at least so far. Yeah. Gnomes are generally not this good looking.
A true statement has never been uttered, Rapunzel.
Oh, but one thing also I was kind of like noticing, and I just was thinking about is like, is the shopkeeper low key like the most powerful mage we see in this series?
Perhaps, maybe.
Because I was noticing him just casually throwing magic around the entire time they were in there.
Yeah, pretty powerful magic too.
Yeah.
And he also has a lot of very powerful magic items in there just for sale.
Yeah, like,
you know?
Where did he get these things? I'm sure he didn't trade for all of them.
It makes you think that if he's selling those items, what are the ones that he's not selling?
Right? Like, why can he afford to part with those?
Exactly.
It's like Professor Farnsworth when he wanted one of his doomsday weapons. He's like, oh, I suppose I could part with one of them and still be feared.
I'm glad you saw the Tusk Love book, Nomengarden, by the way. So there's a lot of Easter eggs in the episodes, obviously for like the D&D campaign, but also like, well, their campaign that they played, but also just D&D in general. And in the shop, there was a ton of stuff. There was Gary Gygax's sundial was in there. If you follow like old school D&D stuff, Gary Gygax was the guy that pretty much made D&D. Like, there was a team of people, but he was the lead. Yeah. And he, one of his characters famously had a sundial, and
it's in a lot of I know stuff. His name.
Yeah. But there's a bunch of stuff in that shop. There's a bunch of stuff throughout almost every episode.
So when he tried to do his little seduction kind of thing to unlock the lock, I had been sitting there thinking to myself, why is this lock so vaguely vaginal? And then he started doing his thing on the lock. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's why.
Yeah, with a toothpick.
It's not the size of the boat, but the motion of the ocean, right?
Exactly. Krieg is very happy with himself. I always find it pretentious when people have portraits of themselves like that in their house.
It's weird, right? It's like when you have like big old portraits of you. Yeah, but that's different. That's a portrait of you as a character. That's different.
Fair. That's fair.
Also, though, another great little bit of setup and payoff, because he had just left his mage, well, his shopkeep friend, who gives him the clue about how vain the dragons are. We go to this guy's house. What's the first thing we see?
Yeah.
A big portrait that's a monument to vanity.
Yeah.
So there were so many moments where I would just look at camera. I'm like, I see you, writers. I see you.
Yeah.
The
That looked
20
like
is
it might
the
have been
highest
pink.
you can roll, right?
Correct. On the D20, yes, it is. That is a crit.
So, I'm on commercials, by the way, so I don't know what you
Sorry.
guys are seeing at the moment. I'm assuming, though, it's the confrontation with the guy that everyone thought was shady, and then
Krieg
the
comes from behind.
reveal.
Yeah. She got her headache again when he's talking to them. The Vex got her headache again when he stepped in there because, you know, dragon.
Are his daggers enchanted to come back to him, or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
They show that pretty cool ways later on, where he actually like throws a dagger, it's in someone's shoulder, then disappears and appears back in his hand.
Oh, I did see that, but I didn't understand what had happened there. I just thought that like maybe the guy he hit had like a power to make it go away or something. This, by the way, this is the moment when I realized that he was the dragon. That Krieg was the dragon. Because there's way too much I love dragon shit in this room.
Yeah.
And then when they showed the picture of the like sexy dragon, I was like, dude's a dragon.
He has dragon porn.
He has dragon porn. Dude's a dragon.
Though that kind of looks like a dragonborn, which is another race in Dungeons and Dragons. So that carpet that they just showed in D&D lore and in a lot of just dragon lore for any kind of role playing, the 5 dragons are usually the chromatic dragons, so the colors of the dragons. So like obviously he's a blue dragon, and then there's the 4 white, black, red, and green.
Each with like different affinities for different elements and stuff.
Yeah. I love how Grog is sticking his hand through the picture's butt, by the way. That's
like,
exactly.
My hand is in the booty.
He had to aim up too, if you notice. Like his arm was in an upward angle. He didn't just go like right straight. And look, he's just standing there with it in it now. Fantastic.
Yeah, Grog is funny.
Oh, thanks for pointing that out. Yeah, there you go. So it's the daggers and the belt work in conjunction. There you go.
Okay. So the belt calls the daggers.
There are more than 5 in D&D. And there's also emerald. They added a whole new batch of dragons. There's the chromatic dragons, and then there's the emerald dragons. So there's like ruby and sapphire and things. Those are the good ones. The colored dragons, the ones that are named green, red, black, all those dragons are evil in D&D lore.
I did think it was kind of funny how long it took Vox Machina to realize they were in a dragon horde.
Yeah, a little too long.
I'm like, guys, literally read the room.
Yeah. They're neutral, but they're usually depicted as good. There, she got it. The ranger got it. The one that's read up on animals. She got it.
And I was like, Palantir.
They do, like, again, the voice acting on par. Matt Smith said he had a ton of fun doing these episodes as well.
Wait, Matt Smith is in this too?
Not Matt Smith, David Tennant. I always say that. I always, for whatever reason, confuse the two of them. Even though neither of them have the same name, but they were both the Doctor.
Well, I mean, one did regenerate into the other, so.
It's true. I am a Matt Smith stan, though. I love Matt. Well, I'm a Matt Smith stan for him as the Doctor. He's my favorite Doctor.
Because fezzes are cool.
Indeed. The animation here is great, too. I love this change.
Yeah, they did a really good job with this.
Yeah. Beautiful. That's another thing I was not expecting was this show to be just gorgeous. Like, the animation is freaking fantastic.
Also, I had never seen an electrical dragon before.
That's blue dragons. Blue dragons in D&D are electric based. White are ice and cold.
And it was
I
pretty
like
cool
how
how
they.
like.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just thinking it was cool how like when they showed people who got hit by its breath, they didn't burn the way you burn from fire.
Yeah.
They burned the way you burn from electricity.
Yep.
And that was really cool. Yeah.
They also made the gold super conductive because gold is very conductive.
She was able to hold back its blast longer this time than the last time.
hmm Or did you two flirt the entire time? that's, that's good, Rapunzel.
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
how it goes. It's the regeneration cycle, right?
That's fair.
Where,
That's a
where we're
good
like,
statement.
who the hell is this? Then it's like, oh, I kind of like them. Oh, I would kill for them. Then it's the new person. Who the hell is this?
Yep.
It starts all over again.
I love that cycle. I hate them. I love them. I'll kill everyone for them.
Yeah, which reminds me, I have to pick up the doctor that what's her name? Jodie Whittaker.
Yeah.
I have to watch her era.
Yeah, I haven't watched. I stopped watching when the doctor before her was because I don't know. It wasn't as. It was too dark and stuff, and I don't know. I didn't enjoy him. But the bits I saw of Jodie, I liked, and the new kid from Sex Ed, I forgot his name. That's the doctor now. I definitely want to check out. I liked him in Sex Ed. It was fun.
It'll be interesting when I finally get around to reacting to them because it's like, you know, that type of fan hated both of them for their obvious reasons. And I always find it interesting the kind of responses I get when I react to stuff where that kind of quote unquote fan dislikes it for the woke. Because for some reason, I think a lot of people they come to my channel expecting me to be that kind of fan.
Yeah.
And then they realize that no, I like the woke.
Me too. I happily wore my when season 2 of the Wheel of Time was getting ready to come out. I happily wore my badge of make season 2 gayer, just to make people angry. Not really. I also liked the on-screen representation of the things that were actually in the books, but
Yeah.
I just also like to frustrate. Something that I said a while ago that my wife brings up because she thought it was a good thing was I like to make a allergen around me for the people that I don't want to be around me. So I just make it an allergen for those.
To be perfectly fair, in my mind, it's a lot of fun to piss off a certain type of person.
Yeah,
exactly. Yep. Pissing off book cloaks is a fun pastime, and I would say that for like all that kind of person, regressive people are fun to piss off.
Oh yeah, that's good point. Good point. The blue dragons also are illusion based.
Okay, but illusions in this world are physical, though, right?
They can be.
Because I noticed the bard when he made his little fist around the guy, that was blocking stuff from hitting.
Yeah, that isn't an illusion. That is an actual physical thing that he manifests.
So does he not understand that he can make shields? Like earlier, that could have come in handy.
It's not as strong as so that's based off of a spell in D&D called Bigsby's Hand, and it's just it can pick up things and move stuff around, but it's not blocking that. Fucking Grog, man.
Yeah, he has no head anymore, Grog. I think you got him.
Oh man, that's the saddest thing I've ever heard, Rapunzel. Being allergic to the greatest spice known to man, garlic.
Oh, I got one for you though, Tom. I'm pretty sure I'm developing an allergy to shrimp.
Oh, that sucks too.
It's one of my favorite things in the entire universe.
I love
shrimp. The last few times I've eaten it, I've gotten itchy, then I've gotten headaches, then I've started vomiting.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure I'm allergic to it now.
Yeah, that stinks.
And I've got an entire freezer filled with shrimp.
I love how the thing that is phallic shaped had to land on his face, by the way.
I thought it would have been hilarious if the only thing he managed to get out of here with was the troll dick.
Yeah, that would have been great. Oh, so I don't know if I've shown it before, but I'm pretty sure I've talked about how I love cooking. And I make my own garlic oil. So that just reminded me, I made some very recently, like yesterday, and I have a picture if I could find it.
Aioli.
No, that's mayonnaise. I do not like mayonnaise. I'm not a fan.
Oh, that's right. Aioli is when you mix the garlic and the oil with the mayo, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of mayonnaise.
I like to cook with it. Weirdly enough, that's what I discovered. My favorite thing to do with mayonnaise is cooking with it.
Okay. I mean, listen, you
as
can
a
be
condiment.
too.
I pretty much only will use it on sandwiches.
I will never use it. If it gets anywhere near my mouth, I will die. That's how this works. But
yeah, someone told me they were going to take my black card away when they found out that I cook with mayonnaise.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have no comment on that, but I support his statement. That's 3 pounds of garlic.
Oh, are those the garlic cloves?
Yep, that's 3 pounds of garlic and a gallon of olive oil.
Wow.
Yeah. So now I have
peanuts for a second.
Well, that's, when they've been in 200-degree oil for 12 hours, that's what they're going to look like. So now I have 3 pounds of garlic confit to use in dishes and, garlic oil to use. That'll last me like 6 months usually.
I'll have to order a bottle from you at some point.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because fortunately, I am not yet, anyway, I think, allergic to garlic or to oil. So this was
always, man. I just made some yesterday. That's why I was showing it. What's up, Morshadi? The Rapunzel was talking about how she's allergic to garlic. I literally made some more garlic oil and garlic confit yesterday.
Yeah, being allergic to garlic, that is very sad. That's probably even sadder than being allergic to shrimp.
Yeah, because you can avoid shrimp. Garlic, man, like that shrimp, is good by itself. It's good in a lot of dishes, but garlic is literally good in almost every single dish. There's nothing that can't stand to have just garlic in it.
So I was sitting here wondering to myself what these people are. Because I'm quite certain she is also some sort of horribly dangerous magical being too, which is why she's sitting there all calm.
Yeah.
But I was thinking to myself, was the setup with Krieg telling us, because the thing was, he was saying the age of dragons is returning, right? You can't have an age of dragons with one dragon. So there's got to be a bunch more running around out there. So I was like, are these people also dragons, or are we being introduced to some other kind of magical critter?
That's a good, yeah. Well, so we are, like I said, season 1. Season 2 is the dragon season. So they started building the story for season 2 right in the beginning of season 1, which I like. And they do a good callback to it a couple of times throughout the rest of the season too. So they just
sort of seed the dragon thing. Because I was wondering about that too. Because I was even saying, like, because writer brain starts kicking in. I'm like, so either we're setting up the sort of like big bads of the first season, or we're setting up the big bads of the show. And that was what I wasn't sure about yet. And it's sounding like maybe we're setting up the bads for the show. It's
kind of like a red herring in a way, because they're not the big, like, the dragon is not the big, these two people, but it's not dragons. So it's kind of like they did a red herring type of thing. Gotcha. Because the dragons are for season 2. So, and they kind of make it look like, they're associated. They did a good job with it. I
did also notice though, the giant fur thing on the guy's costuming, which also could be a clue to me about what kind of critters we're dealing with. But clearly,
you're gonna get put on the McCarthy list, Skeeter. Watch out.
Like communism.
Chromatic herrings. For the people that were watching, by the way, I've stopped the watch party because we're only watching episodes 1 and 2 this week. So Just getting that out there. If it's still playing for you, feel free to continue to watch. But we are done this week. We are done. I'm done today for watching the episodes. Anyway, I go on with what you were saying. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I was just saying that I definitely did enjoy these 2 episodes though.
Oh yeah, great. They're great.
I wasn't able to watch past them yet, so I don't know what else we're setting up or where else we're going.
I'm definitely
did
curious
notice
to know
though,
your view when you finish.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I had heard so much about it. You know, like when it first came out, it was on my radar mildly, just because, you know, I was like, oh, maybe an interesting new take on fantasy stuff. That's always interesting. And of course, like I said, I had heard of Critical Role, so I knew that they were highly regarded, and I had some idea of what they were about. So yeah, it was on my radar. But then I kept noticing people were starting to gush about this show.
Oh yeah,
you know, and that pushed it a little further up my list of like things to react to, because I'm like, clearly people actually enjoy this
a lot.
And hold on, it's doing the thing where it's trying to it was trying to start playing again. But I noticed even in these 2 episodes, like in the second episode, it felt like some of the dramatic writing was landing a little better already, you know, which is encouraging, because again, it was one of those things where it's like you just have to develop. It's almost like developing comedic timing, you know, where it's just it just develops over time.
They also are having.
Stuff.
Oh, what's up, Ned? Another new name in chat. Nice to see you.
The Minion season. Oh, was it like a Minion of the week until you get to the big bad?
Kind of.
That's fine. I mean, so first seasons are typically a sort of like a slow build, and I like slow builds because they
the first couple episodes time. They did a lot of lore dropping and building of the characters and of the backstory and of the current story, and obviously now that I told you a little bit of season 2 they dropped in there too for getting ready with the dragons. But as we get into episodes 3, 4, and 5, it's when they really start focusing on the now, like what's happening in the moment, and that's when it really starts to shine. So I'd be really interested to see your reactions to the rest of the season. And by the way,
how many seasons are there total so far?
There are currently 2 finished, and the third one is current right now. It's happening.
Okay, is that the final season, or are they doing more after that?
Unknown at the moment.
Okay, so it wasn't written as the final season.
No.
Okay.
But did anyone remember to look out for Mercer in episode 2? For the character that looks like him? I have it ready.
The people who got screwed over by Vox Machina,
so many
specifically in this episode, because you said it's always someone that gets screwed over by them, right? Not just screwed over by the story.
Yeah, but it's not usually a big thing. Yeah, I thought everyone probably forgot, but it's fine. I have it right here, so let's get that up. So this scene was when they stole a keg of beer from.
Oh, so they screwed over
this guy in the background there.
My cabbages.
Yep. And he's still. It's the same guy too. He's still dressed the same outfit and everything. And that was when they stole the beer. Yeah.
It would have been absolutely hilarious if they made it the exact same character getting screwed over by them every time, just in some weird way.
Yeah, if they follow the campaign they did, I think it's going to end up being 5 seasons. I hope they do. I mean, it's getting nothing but praise everywhere. So it got 100% critic score. It's 93% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, which I don't always trust Rotten Tomatoes, but I like the Rotten Tomatoes fan reviews. Those are usually good. Well, that's also not true.
Problem is that those types of fans like
they do go there and they review bomb things. But it's 93% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes in the fan reviews. It got 100% critic score like the first season, so it's unanimously liked, this show. So know that for whatever reason, sometimes TV shows still get canceled. So they canceled that Chaos show with Jeff Goldblum on Netflix, even though it got praise everywhere and everyone loved it, which makes me sad.
Was it expensive to produce?
Probably, and there's a lot of really big actors in it, so probably. But I feel like that's really poor planning on someone's part.
Yeah, that's what killed Farscape.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, everyone got so huge after Farscape. Like when it first started, it wasn't a lot. A lot of the actors were already famous, but some of them got more and more famous as the first season went on.
Yeah, they were in that nice area where they were recognized in the industry, but none of them had really taken off in sort of like the general populace yet. You know what I mean? Like none of them were big names yet. And so they weren't super expensive. The Farscape's budget problem was just the production values. Like they put so much money into making that show look good, you know, and it literally was like a movie every week, right? So that it was inevitable that they were going to have problems because there's no way they were going to recover the budget with advertising because the advertising dollars you could get back then for a sci-fi show just weren't good enough. Nowadays, most shows are sci-fi or fantasy, so probably
well, that's because we won.
Yeah, exactly. We sure did.
The nerds won. We run everything now, and like all popular media is fantasy in some way, shape, or form sci-fi based. There's even fantasy. Not just sci-fi, but fantasy and science fiction based. There's even a huge like metal band that's composed of people that dress as dwarves and they talk about digging holes and Diggy Diggy Hole is a great song, by the way. If you don't know,
that's awesome. I gotta look that up.
Yeah, you gotta look them up. But they all dress as dwarves. Their instruments are all done up. Their music is about like dwarven lore from different fantasy stuff. It's great. It's fantastic. It's like there's nerdy crap everywhere, and it makes me so happy. It makes me mostly happy for the young kids that are into fantasy and science fiction, not having to get bullied like we did,
and also being utterly spoiled for choice. There's like
so many
types of The
only anime like when I was a kid that was around was Akira, Full Metal Alchemist, and Dragon Ball. That was all I could find in America, pretty much. Like when I was young. But anyway. What we usually do at the end of these shows is we interview our guest with our inside the Dragonmount Studios interview style questions, but Reverse has done that before. So before I go into
all of this has happened before, all of this will happen again.
Exactly. Before I show you guys who's going to be guest next week, I'm going to pose to you guys. We're going to play a game. So in chat, what we're going to do is this is a game I totally stole from Jimmy Fallon. It's called Word Sneak, where basically chat will just start putting out words. It could be any word you want. Generally, a noun is best, or a verb can be funny too, depending on where we're going with our sentences. But Reverse and I will take turns going back and forth, grabbing a word from chat that we see. And you don't have to just, the first one you see that you like, that you want to use, you just say it. And we will have to say a sentence with that word. It has to make sense, and it has to come out relatively fast. You don't have like 20, 30 seconds. It's got to come out relatively quick. And the little shtick that we'll put on this for here is there's a game that I really like to play called Once Upon a Time, where it's a board game. It's a tabletop board game, but we have to co-tell a story together. So that will be our shtick that we have to do. So I'll let you start it off when we get started. You start the story off with whatever word you see. So chat, just keep putting words, just single words out into the chat. And when we see them, that'll be the ones that we use. So far, I see 2 in there.
Is it first word?
Yeah. And Reverse, you have to start it off, and one or 2 sentences we'll say, and they have to at least contain the word that is in chat once, and then it'll get kicked to me, and we have to go back and forth.
So 1 sentence per word, or
no? You have to just choose one word and then give me a sentence with that word in it, and we're trying to tell a story to each other.
Okay.
Fucking Gnomon Garden, man.
Right. I can't even remember the meaning of feculent, and I don't think I've ever seen sesquipedalian. It sounds like it has to do with numbers of legs, though.
Probably.
So is that like 16-legged or something?
Feculent is basically like poop.
I know the word, but I can't think of what it means. Like
Or
that's the word I
containing
recognize.
poop. I think like it's something that is poop being contained. I don't know. Like it's usually like just a dirty thing. Anyway, go ahead. You started off.
So the trapezoid appeared out of nowhere, purple and shrinking.
Purple and shrinking. The trapezoid suddenly appeared moist and dripping of it's on you.
That wasn't a whole sentence.
I left it open for you.
I was about to say, I thought we were supposed to do a whole sentence at a time.
Here, I'll throw in the second one. And dripping of hogwash. I used it differently.
Clearly, this was the strangest portcullis anyone had ever seen.
A trapezoid portcullis
that is apparently dripping and moist. Purple is shrinking.
Thankfully, my pepper box fit through the bars of the portcullis.
On the other side, enraging the gnome who stood there, nursing an angry polyp.
An angry polyp. Oh, man. On the other side, the Jabberwocky paced back and forth, the Vorpal blade sitting at its feet, no longer going snicker-snack. Sorry, I had to do that.
I have to give you credit for managing to get snicker-snack in there.
You're welcome.
Let's see here. Looking for a word that I could actually like. The abominable sound of the Vorpal blade now extinguished. Jack was able to think for the first time.
And he thought to himself, juxtaposed next to this trapezoid portcullis, I feel a love for my gnome friend.
Flicker, flicker, flicker went the memories of his gnome friend through his mind.
Even though she supported anti-disestablishment imperialism, I can't hold that against her, as she is an agnostic and I am a cleric. What, you didn't think I was going to use it, Glenn? You didn't think I would use it?
I was literally just still laughing at the fact that he put that in there. To the point where I completely missed what you even said. I was still laughing about it.
Though my gnome friend was an anti-disestablishment terrorist, I still supported her, since she was agnostic and I was a cleric.
The only thing I couldn't get behind.
Anti-disestablishmentarianism means being against the not building of churches.
The only thing we ever disagreed on, in fact, was the many uses of squash.
Oh, God.
I think there's one in here that you have a very good follow on from that one with, but
where I considered most squash just to be feculent, she found it tasty. She found it quite tasty.
Probably because she always had her pepper box close to hand.
I used pepper box already.
You used it already. I forgot. I have lost. A loser am I.
Yes, sir. So now you have to go and post on Twitter at Dragonmount that Tom is a cunning linguist or a master debater or something. I don't know. Whatever you want.
I will do you honor.
No, thank you. Thank you everyone for participating in that.
That's actually one of my favorite words.
What the fuck is that's not? Oh, that's the fucking town. That's the town. Matt's
town?
Yeah, it's a Welsh town. David Tennant can say that.
It definitely looks Welsh.
Yeah, it's a Welsh town. There's a town in Boston that is like 27 characters long. It's a Native American town. No, it's the name of the lake.
Someone made that name up completely as a laugh. They were taking the full and utter
Oh,
piss
absolutely.
when they made up that name.
I feel like they wanted to just see how many letters they could fit on a sign.
Wow.
Because there is a sign with that name on it.
I would think the pronunciation of that would literally just be la 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 la.
I mean, that's all I would try to pronounce if that was me. No thanks.
That's insane.
All right.
But yeah,
so,
that was fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was fun. So yeah, thank you again. And if we do have someone on the show again who has already been in the show and has done the interviews, we will play another game. We have several games. If you would like to see us play a specific game, you can post it in chat, add us on social media, and maybe we'll play a specific game with somebody. Actually, I can tell you right now. So next week, Monday at 9 p.m., my guest will be, let me get the banner down. Stupid Tom. Jen Lyons and Mike Lyons. So Jen and Mike are great friends of mine. Jen and Mike are both authors. Jen is arguably slightly more famous. This is Jen. She wrote, where's her? I have her website. It's here. Okay. She wrote A Chorus of Dragons, which is a Tor published series. She's a fantastic writer. Her books are very inclusive and open, and they break a lot of the norms, tropic norms of things. And I really love her magic system in it. If you like gigantic dragons, epic fights, cool magic systems, and fun character backstories, you should read her books. I posted a link to her website in there. And Mike also is an author, but he's only published a few short stories in what do they call it when there's multiple writers on a book? The word.
Oh, anthology.
An anthology. Yes. The word was gone. I helped create an anthology at JordanCon, but I can't remember the word right now because ADHD.
It happens. I forgot the word for salt once when I was sitting at lunch with some folks. I could only ask for it by describing what it looked like and what it was used for.
Oh yeah, thank you, Aaron. And A Chorus of Dragons is a completed series, so you don't have to wait for the next book to come out. I believe I've
heard of that book series. I'm gonna have to look into it.
I believe it's 5 books. I think it's 5 books, and she is currently working on her next series. She has a standalone book coming out soon too. So yeah, check out her stuff. Really cool person. Her and Mike will be on next week. 2 huge role players and tabletop board gamers, tabletop RPGers. In fact, we play in a tabletop RPG with Mike, her husband, and a couple of our other friends every Tuesday, which is a lot of fun. So go and check out her stuff and get ready for next week. And Reverse. So what's your next react? When's your next videos getting posted? Where can our friends find you next?
Well, there was a delay because of finances and studies, but that should be coming to an end. So the next live reaction that was chosen was to Loki season 2. I just had to put it on hold for a little while because Disney Plus was something that I wasn't paying for at the time, so I have to renew it. And obviously I'm still editing 3 Body Problem, still editing The Expanse. Season 5 reaction will start up at some point. That will be another live reaction. But those are being voted on now. So it'll be when people actually vote to see it. Okay. And since I have started watching this one, what I will do is Vox Machina reactions will not be live reactions. I'll just be reacting to them privately. And I am going to drop those as surprises, so you won't know when those are coming out.
Ooh, cool. And are you doing? I posted a link to your YouTube, but I'm also posting a link to your Discord where you do hold a lot of discussions and things like that.
Yep, that's where you can go if you want to be someone who can suggest and or vote on series. Yeah, definitely come to the Discord.
Yay.
And you can have a voice on what I'm watching.
Yay.
You can be twisted and force me to watch Euphoria if you want.
Oh God. Oh man, don't even get me started on Euphoria. I mean, I'm sure I've seen a couple episodes. I'm sure the acting is great, but who is that written for?
I know why people wanted me to react to it when they first suggested it. It's because I'm somewhat known for my propensity for tears, and people seem to enjoy watching me suffer. Show. And yeah, it looked like it was pretty much tailor made to have me and like basically reduced to a wreck by the end of 80% of the episodes. So I think
Fair
that's
enough.
why. But nothing to do with sci-fi or fantasy or comic book heroes or anything, which are the bread and butter of my show. But I guess the crying outweighs that.
Yeah. People like emotion. But make sure to go and click the subscribe and the like button. Make sure to hit the bell for all alerts for ReverseBLT's channel, but also for our new friends that were chatting with us tonight. For this channel as well. I will be listing next week's immediately. So if you put the alert bell on for our channel, you'll get notified when our next one comes up too.
Every nerd supports your fellow nerds.
Exactly. Always support your friends. Always support things that you enjoy. If you liked this, feel free to subscribe and share and click all the likes. Go to all of our social medias, which are all linked below. You can go right to dragonmount.com and find all the articles that are being written by the books that we're reviewing for Tor. Everything Wheel of Time oriented is there. The full library, the Old Tongue Dictionary. There's lots of Wheel of Time content on the dragonmount.com website, as well as in the YouTube videos. Go back and watch some of our old reactions to the episodes and deep dives into specific Wheel of Time content. And if there's anything that you guys would like us to talk about, post your thoughts in our social media or on our Discord, which is also linked below. And with that, I think that's all we have. So you want to say goodnight, Reverse?
Good night, Crystal.